do a roll call?
Yes. Ms. Anderson?
Present.
Ms. Bryant? Mr. Kilgore?
Here.
Dr. Turner?
Here.
All right, at this time, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I am going to say.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, at this time, we are going to go into an executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official. It is now 4:34. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Did you second, Kim?
Right.
Can we do a vote?
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
Dr. Turner?
Yes.
From executive session at 6:23. All right, this is a meeting of the Board of Education in public and is not to be considered a public meeting. Before we get started with the actual meeting, as most of you here know, we have recently lost Ms. Carol Ellis, who was a very honored and respected member of our board for 43 years. So just to honor her before we start, we are going to do a 43-second moment of silence for Mrs. Ellis. Thank you all. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the roll call.
Ms. Anderson?
Present.
Ms. Bryant? Here. Mr. Kilgore?
Here.
Dr. Turner?
I'm here.
All right, so our first order of business is to fill the vacancy for the unexpired term for Ms. Ellis. So could we do a motion to appoint Mr. William Carter to fill that vacancy?
So moved.
Second.
We do a roll call.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
Dr. Turner?
Yes.
All right, so
I
Ms.
guess we want him to
Yeah, Mr. Carter, if you want to come up here and have a seat, you can go ahead and be sworn in now, and you will serve the remainder of the board meeting.
That's Mr. William
And I will
Carter.
say, it was not like just a super easy decision to make
Thank
either.
you,
We
Dr.
had
Turner.
some
Yeah,
other good options.
yeah. We did have very good options. It was not an easy decision. Thank everyone else for coming.
I did.
I'll have the oath.
Okay, yeah. You're gonna have to stand up and sign your life away.
Your microphone is on, so just hold on.
We'll get you a name plate. Next one.
Mhm.
Yes, and Ms. Hughes will join you.
Yeah, you can take a snap. Hold on, let's get a Kodak moment here.
I don't know that
All
I'm
right.
camera ready. Oh, wow. I wasn't prepared.
You can get
So
closer
you'll
if
just
you wanna
repeat
get a
after
better
me.
view. You fine? Okay.
I, William Carter,
I, William Carter,
swear
swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will perform
and that I will perform
faithfully the duties of my office
faithfully the duties of my office
as a member of the Board of the Education
as a member of the Board of the Education
of the Mount Healthy City School District.
of the Mount Healthy City School District.
get a big seat filled in.
Okay, so from here on out during this meeting, you will have a vote. So when she calls your name, you just vote yes or no, and you can make motions and second motions as well. All right, so as far as the term that begins in January 2024, motion to appoint Dr. Julie Turner to reclaim that seat and fill that role. Can you get a motion?
Second?
Roll call?
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant, Mr. Kilgore,
Yes.
Dr. Turner.
I don't think I'm
I
allowed to
don't think
vote.
you're allowed. I
You're not
apologize.
allowed.
So, Mr. Carter.
Yes.
Okay.
And if I could interject for a second, I wasn't on the ballot. I wasn't necessarily planning on running this time, but we had, 2 open seats. I've already expressed to the board and to Dr. Hawkins, it's highly unlikely, virtually impossible that I will fill the full 4-year term. I just want, I don't want to pretend that I'm signing up for more than I am. So there could be another vacancy sometime.
All right. Nominations for president
For the rest of this year.
for the rest of this year. This will just be the remainder of, this will be this meeting and the December meeting, and then we will appoint a new president in January.
I nominate our acting president now, Mrs. Anderson, as president.
Yeah, I'll accept that. Okay. Do we have to do a motion for that?
Well, so he made a motion basically to nominate.
What's the election
Nominate,
of
so-
president? What's number 6?
So somebody has to
That's,
second.
so,
got it.
yeah.
All right, so now we just move to a roll call. I'm doing a good job as president.
Well, we need a second.
Yes, it is second.
What's that?
It needs to be seconded.
Yeah.
I'll second.
All right, can we do a roll call?
Ms. Bryant? Mr. Kilgore,
Yes.
Dr. Turner,
Yes.
Mr. Carter.
Yes.
All right, nominations for vice president. I want to nominate Dr. Turner. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, can we do a roll call?
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant,
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore,
Yes.
Mr. Carter.
Yes.
All right, we'll now do the swearing in of officers for the remainder of 2023.
The oath of the president.
So, repeat after me. I, Stephanie Anderson,
I, Stephanie Wilson,
swear
swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will perform faithfully
and I will perform faithfully
the duties of my office as President
the duties of my office as President
of the Board of Education
of the Board of Education
of the Mount Healthy City School District.
of the Mount Healthy City School District.
You can do it from way over there. You don't have to come over here if you don't want to.
Come stand
Okay, all right.
I, Dr. Julie Turner,
I, Dr. Julie Turner,
swear
swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will perform faithfully
and that I will perform faithfully
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as Vice President of the Board of Education
as Vice President of the Board of Education
of the Mount Healthy City School District.
of the Mount Healthy City School District.
Discussion of the agenda. You should have a copy of the agenda in front of you. Did anybody have any comments or questions about the agenda? Can I get a motion to accept the agenda for the November 20th, 2023 regular meeting of the Board of Education?
So moved.
Second.
Can we get a roll call?
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
Dr. Turner?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yes.
All right, the reading and signing of minutes. The minutes of the regular meeting that was held on October 16th, 2023. Did we have any discussion or questions about those? Okay. Can I get a motion to accept those minutes?
So, move.
Second.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore?
Yes.
Dr. Turner?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Actually, I don't know if he gets to vote on it because
Because he wasn't
he
here.
wasn't,
I'll scratch
yeah.
that. I'll scratch Mr. Carter from that.
Should I abstain?
I think we,
Yeah.
yeah,
Abstain.
sure.
All right, do we have anything from the Mount Healthy Teachers Association?
We do not.
Any communications or public input?
No.
All right, for the members of the audience who didn't.
Turner, what you talk about Saturday? Dr. Dr. Hawkins, I'm sorry.
I will under my report.
Okay,
This is
okay.
just if people want to
Okay,
speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For the members of the audience who do not wish to stay for the business portion of this meeting, now is the appropriate time for you to leave the meeting. Thank you. All right, we do not have a Great Oaks Board report this month. Legislative updates, there was not a whole lot happening. The only thing school-related that happened this month was House Bill 311, which was recently introduced, which would prohibit differing ticket prices for online and cash school-affiliated events and requires a student ticket to be less than an adult price ticket. And that was just recently introduced, so. All right, can we move on to the report of the treasurer?
Thank you. So letter A is the treasurer updates. I apologize for the delay in getting the information to you. I was having a challenge with trying to get my access to my documents over the weekend. But I wanted to let you all know that for most of you, you've already completed it, but Plattenberg questionnaires, they're asking that we complete the questionnaire for the related parties and the fraud questionnaire. And as I stated, I think the majority of you have already returned those to me. That's something that has to be completed on an annual basis. With regard to our gap in annual audit, this year we are requesting for an extension. Kevin Vaughn, from our Plattenberg, our auditing firm, he reached out to me last week and suggested that we request a 60-day extension because I'm having some challenges with gathering some of the information out of the system this year. So that we won't be late, we have requested an extension. Heard from them today. They did not grant us a 60-day extension, but they did grant us a 30-day extension. So I did reach out to our firm just to kind of confirm, and they did say yes, that that's what they typically do. And if we find that we need additional time, that we have to just submit another letter. So as of right now, we have through December 31st to provide Plattenberg with the information that they're seeking from us. State performance evaluation. The state has reached out to both Dr. Hawkins and myself because they want to be able to come in and do a performance evaluation for the district. I believe I forwarded the email to all of you regarding what they're requesting. I'll have to now include you. But they want to do an entrance conference where they're asking for superintendent, myself, board members, and they really want department heads to be involved and anybody else who would want to be able to know what the purpose of the performance evaluation is. So they've offered a couple of dates, and Dr. Hawkins has already provided me with her availability. So if you all could just let me know what your availability is, then I can reach back out to them to confirm when we would be able to have the initial meeting with the state auditors.
Do you want to give them the dates?
They're looking, their first option is December the 14th, and the second option is December the 12th.
You said December 14th and 12th?
Yes, and it's also in your updates as well. Today I will be submitting the approval of the 5-year forecast along with the amended certificate of our estimated resources. The resources are what we have to file with the county, and it's basically a high-level explanation of what our budget is, and it's by fund. So we have to send that information into the county each year, and it basically tells them this is how much we are allocating at each fund level, and they will also in turn, well, we also have to let them know what our resources are, so they want to make sure that whatever we've appropriated is within the amount of the allocations that we receive. Our 5-year forecast has to be filed at the end of this month. That's something that we file biannually. We do it in November as well as May. So I will be going over that in deeper detail later. And then next month, I will be submitting for your approval the tax budget, which is basically the fiscal year 25 budget. But there'll be additional information forthcoming with that. Letter B, I'm recommending that you all will accept the financial statement for October 2023.
So moved.
All right, do we have any discussion?
Kim said.
Just- Do we have any discussion? Discussion? What do you say?
I said Kim seconded.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
asking if we had any
didn't-
discussion. Can we do a roll call?
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant,
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore,
Yes.
Dr. Turner,
Yes.
Mr. Carter.
Yes.
Would that be an abstaining? Because it's October.
Oh, thank you. I am so sorry. I gotta get adjusted to this. Because it predates you.
So all this information, well, go ahead.
Item number C, the recommendation to approve the fiscal year 24 revised appropriations within the certificate of the estimated resources.
Can we get a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion?
So I think probably since you weren't sent all of this information ahead of time like we were, probably you won't be included in these votes this time around. Next month, you get to vote on this stuff, this kind of stuff.
Thank you for clarification.
All right, can we do a roll call?
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant,
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore,
Yes.
Dr. Turner.
Yes.
So I will be filing this when the meeting is over, so I have to make sure it's into the county. The next item is the 5-year forecast. So I have worked with the firm that we use, which is called Forecast 5. They do our analytics. So this is month 5 for me, and I'm still learning and discovering. So with that noted, in working on the 5-year forecast, there are some things that I just want to be able to point out. So I did do a PowerPoint presentation. You all have copies of it at your seats. So, again, this is something that by Ohio Revised Code, we have to file with the state November in the fall and May in the spring of each fiscal year. It is it's a broad view of what our revenues are against what our expenditures are, and it also explains what our cash balance is. So when I meet with the Forecast 5 team, The information that they're requesting from us is information that comes directly out of our financial system. So they're asking for reports on our expenses, they're asking for reports on our revenues, and then they walk me through entering this data into their actual software, and it populates the 5-year forecast. So what we are projecting for the current fiscal year, our projected general fund revenue is $42 million. The forecast only speaks of the general fund dollars. It's not about federal funds, any other funds, it's just general fund dollars. So what we're projecting to receive is $42 million, and our projected general fund expenditures are $56 million. So that is going to leave us with a shortfall of $13 million. So on the next page of the forecast, it's showing you the current fiscal year and how we're actually getting our money. So our projected local taxes, 11 million, I'm just gonna say $11.8 million. And that is a combination of our real estate property taxes and our public utility taxes. Our state funding is $28.7 million, and that's what we receive at the state level. That's what we get in our foundation payments every month. We get them twice a month, but we get it every month. So as you can see in the pie graph, that's the majority of how we receive our funding, is through our state foundation payments. That's 67%. Our local taxes, we receive 28%. And then our projected revenues, it's only 5%, and that's $1,900. On the next page, it's going to show us what our
What page are you on? I'm sorry.
thank you,
Look
thank
for
you.
the pie charts, like
This
further
one.
back. And now
Thank
we're
you,
on the
Dr.
one with the
Hawkins.
red and the green.
So I need to make a correction. For the projected,
Oh.
all other revenues is 1.9 million. I said that incorrectly.
Okay. It's pretty far back, it's, there's only like 4 pages left. by the
They
time.
have page numbers on them.
Oh, I didn't see page numbers on mine.
Oh, mine,
So I'm looking
I don't have
at
page numbers.
current fiscal year where it says projected revenue analysis. It's a pod,
It's just up a pack.
it's a PowerPoint. I apologize.
Look for the red and the green chart near the back.
Current fiscal year, but all that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, this one now, yeah.
So the top of at one page, it'll say current fiscal year projected revenue analysis. So that's a pie chart of how we're receiving our funds.
okay, I was just in the wrong packet, sorry.
I apologize if I wasn't clear. So I'm moving to the next page where we're talking about our projected expenditure analysis. So right now, as with all school districts, the largest expense of a school district is the personnel cost, which is pretty much 70% of our expenses for general fund. And then purchase services, 27%, and then all other expenditures is 4%. I'm gonna have to do a deeper dive with our personnel services because it looks like they have increased, but I need to do a deeper dive to understand why they've increased. We did a year-over-year comparison. This time last year, there was a bump in September, but that was due to the teacher salary upgrades. But last year, in the month of October, it dropped back down, whereas this year, they remained at a high rate. And it's basically the teachers that seem to be high in salary. So again, I will be doing a deeper dive to figure out why that is, to understand what's going on there. So I wanted to point this out to you all. And in addition, our revenues are remaining flat. We're not getting any more money. So I was sharing this with Dr. Hawkins. The enrollment numbers that they have at the state level for us are less than what we have in our system. So I have reached out to our EMIS department to try to get an understanding to see if we can somehow reconcile those numbers, because that's impacting our foundation payments, because our foundation payments are based off of our enrollment numbers. And it's like a 300 student difference.
It's more than that.
So they're saying
It's about,
there's-
altogether, it's about 600.
So they're saying 2,400. I thought that was 2,700.
But that doesn't include the Oak students, which we get funded for. So with the Oak students, it's about 3,100.
So hopefully EMIS will be able to reconcile that with the state, because again, because that was a concern that I had brought up to Dr. Turner, that every time we get a foundation payment, it seems.
I'm sorry, I started that mess, I'm sorry.
I apologize, Dr. Hawkins.
I do the same thing. I'm calling somebody else.
I had shared the concern with Dr. Hawkins earlier this week that our foundation payments seem to keep decreasing. And when I did a little bit more research, I saw that it was the enrollment numbers. So we can get that reconciled, and that's gonna help us get more revenue in. May not be very much, but I would like for us to be able to get what
we're owed,
what
yeah.
we're owed. So I also questioned our reappraisals. This is the year for our property tax reappraisals. So, what I have learned is, even though the property values may increase, the property rates decrease. So that's why we're not necessarily seeing a bump or an increase in revenue with regard to the new property values. It's kind of inverted, so it's not helping us very much, and we are not at the 20 mil floor, because from what I'm hearing is, if our district were at the 20 mil floor, because right now we're at 27 mils, if we were at the 20 mil floor, we would be benefiting from the property value increase, and we would be receiving more money. But because we are not, that's negatively impacting us. So our revenues are staying flat, but our expenditures are increasing, which is impacting us on the cash reserve side. So just wanting to bring this all to your attention with regard to what our 5-year forecast is looking like. Earlier this year, we had to do a precautionary plan because of us having 3 years of negative cash balance, and I am sure the state will be contacting us again. So I just wanted to make you all aware of what's going on in the 5-year forecast.
One thing that I do want to point out, Kim and her team have had a lot of work to sift through a lot of these things. Back in April, a year ago, April, the software changed, and there's been some, I'm going to say, confusion with, not anything with her or her team, with the account numbers. So one thing that Kim and I had talked about pretty extensively, over the last few years, the district has received, I don't know, 50 million, 60 million in grants in a variety of forms. Unfortunately, a lot of the grant expenditures were paid out of the general fund, and Kim and her team have been working really hard to match those up. And I just wanted to point this out because a quick overview doesn't show how much they have to do. So let's say that the account numbers matched. It would be very easy for them to transfer that money back and forth. Unfortunately, a lot of times the numbers aren't matching. So they have to hunt for where was this paid, and then we have to ask for that grant money then to be shifted back to general fund, and that is extremely labor intensive. So I hope several $1 million, because like I said, we've spent millions and millions of dollars the last few years that are grant funded, but it is a very intensive process to try to get that shifted. So they are working to do that, but that's been a very overwhelming process for Kim and her team.
If we got a grant went to a designated area, it doesn't go into general fund.
It does not.
So-
Unfortunately, when the bills were being presented, people who were in the office previously paid it out of general fund instead of the grants.
Oh, so money would,
So money went out of general fund to pay many, many things that there was money for the grants. Now, the good thing is the grant money is still there, and it will reimburse general fund on a lot of things, but they're having to go through and finding it. And then other people, for instance, Jana, looked at the way her people were being paid and found out, what was that, about $1 million was paid inappropriately in salaries, maybe not quite $1 million. But, you know, then she's working with the treasurer's office to get that changed. It's just Kim has only been here for 5 months, and the summer is a very busy time for the treasurer's department. And so they're just now having to kind of sort through all of that. But I know all of her team has been working really hard on that. It's just, it really is mind-boggling how many things have to be realigned and matched up, and there's only so many hours, you know, in the day, but they are working really hard at that. So I have a little bit of hope that once that happens, our outlook will look better, and the EMIS numbers, as well as we have received a lot more special education students, that the cost to educate is catastrophic. We will get reimbursed on that, but it doesn't come until the end of the year. But for example, just this year alone, we've had a significant number of students that have exceptional needs, and that we, you know, it's nothing that we've really seen before. So we have to provide the services needed and then recoup that money. So we are working with Kim and her department on some other plans as well, and I appreciate their hard work on this. It's not something that we take lightly, and we want to support them in that.
That's all I have for the 5 reports.
Do you want to vote on the
Yes. So I'm recommending the board accept the November 24 5-year financial forecast.
Can we get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, can we do a roll call?
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant, Mr. Kilgore,
Yes.
Dr. Turner.
Yes.
All right,
And
we'll
that's the
turn-
end of my report. Thank you so much.
Turn it over to Dr. Hawkins for the
Thank
superintendent's
you.
report.
Thank you. As Ms. Bryant mentioned earlier, last Saturday we had an amazing athletic Hall of Fame event at the junior senior high, and we had 3 inductees, and it was a great night. I would let Ms. Bryant, she's got a little bit of a cold, so I was going to let her.
It was beautiful to see all the people coming back
Mhm.
and the comments that they were saying about the school district and what it brought to them when they were here. And to see their families and the people trying to take pictures with them. It was just a real nice evening.
Yeah, it was.
I think everybody had a great time.
I do
and
too.
was glad to be there.
Yeah, it was we had 3 inductees. You know, they all were there with their families, and like Ms. Bryant said, very excited to be there. All of them shared amazing stories from when they were in school, and how people really shaped their lives. So that was very exciting. If you have been near the high school, the metalwork has gone up around the Culinary Center, and it looks beautiful. We anticipate to have a grand opening sometime in January for that center, so we will keep you posted on that. And this is something that I really wanted to highlight. This is, of course, for school to use, but it's also for our community to use. And the board wanted to have something where, you know, let's say they wanted to have a class reunion or a gathering. Our district as a whole, Mount Healthy District, can use that area for gatherings. So I think it will be a great benefit to the community. We don't have a lot of places where you can hold a gathering. The inside will seat around 180, and the outside will seat another 75 to 100. So a nice size space that we'll be able to use for our uses like professional development as well as the community, as well as our culinary program we'll be expanding to add some business classes. So that moves us in that direction where our students will be able to earn an associate degree before they leave high school. Under our new graduation requirements, I think it's important to point out that a lot of our students may not test well. A lot of our students move, or maybe they're just not good test takers. Under the requirements for graduation, if you cannot pass the end of course exams, you must have another option. So we can offer college level classes in our culinary program. Taking a college level class is one of the things you can do to meet that requirement. Another thing you can do is earn a career credential. The Oaks are a fantastic partner with us. Unfortunately, they can only take a certain number of students because we have 35 different feeders that go into the Oaks. They can't take 100 from Mount Healthy a lot of times. So our students can remain at the high school and earn the credential that they need in order to graduate. The other option that Ohio allows, which I have some issues with, is that you are forced to join the military. Now, I think the military is fantastic if that's your choice. You know, Mr. Kilgore is a Green Beret, former Green Beret, and we have the utmost respect for the people who serve our country. But I feel that should be a choice. I don't feel like that's something people should do not just to get a diploma. They need to be passionate about that choice because it is such a serious job. So this gives just a way for our students to earn what they need, and I do appreciate the board supporting that and giving the students of Mount Healthy that option. So any student will have the option to take those classes that they need, and there should not be a barrier for graduation for our students. That is being present. We got our final information for graduation. When I started at Mount Healthy in 2020, our graduation rate was 66% as a district. This year it was 86.2. So we are excited. And that is all the work of the buildings and the people here at district office. They are going through our seniors one by one. What do they have to do to graduate? And they are making those pathways available for our students. And so I'm just so proud of the work that Amy Criswell, her team, as well as Connie, Kristen Yancey, all of our counselors, Ms. Brooks is our head counselor, they really own their students, and they want to see them walk across the stage, as we all do. And what I want, sometimes I'm not sure that everybody understands how these numbers are created, so I'm just going to share a little tidbit. Any student that comes in and joins the cohort starting in 9th grade is on our graduation report. So we could have a student who was with us for 3 weeks in 9th grade, and then if we can't prove that they enrolled in another school, that counts against us. Or, in Ohio's wisdom, if you get a GED, they don't count that as a diploma. They count that as a dropout. So that counts against us. So that doesn't make sense, but that's the way it works. In special education, I appreciate that our Board of Education wants to do what's right for students, and we have a number of students that defer their diplomas. That means they may go to Great Oaks and take 2 years of additional training to help them get a fantastic job. That counts as a dropout against us because it only goes into the 5-year graduation rate, and if they take 2 years, which is their right to do, they don't officially take that diploma until their 6th year, and that counts against us. So, you know, a number isn't as simple as a number. You know, we have to look at this, and our staff is looking at every student and making sure that we are helping them graduate, but also getting whatever they need. So I do appreciate all of that. We have several change orders for the construction project that we mentioned, the Culinary Arts Edition. we have change order 38. There was a little bit more for the roof canopy, $3,840.15. Window blinds, a difference of $1,022.04. They had to take the existing 225 amp. The breaker was bad. That cost $3,402.31. $684.11 for kitchen exhaust fan 3 and 4. We changed out a tree. There's no cost for that. I'll just tell you this. The one they picked had a lot of leaves, and Dr. Ogden was like, that's too many leaves fallen that we have to pick up. So they changed that out. So we're excited that he had the forethought to do that. We change order 48, $517.12, dry fire suppression compressor circuit. Change order 49, $299.45, electrical room and dry storage, tech meeting, or that's for that. Tech meeting notes, that was a change order but no cost. Then they actually gave us back some money, $5,586.85 on the air barrier on the canopy. We changed sod in lieu of seed and straw. There was no charge for that. An additional $970.20 for epoxy floor changes. And I do want to say Conger has been fantastic to work with. They have been amazing. We have a contingency fund, as you do for any project for this type of thing, and we are still well within that. So we are very appreciative of Conger and just how they've worked with the district. And if you notice, there is a fence outside. We are going to be adding an elevator and a new entry point for our district office, and Conger will be working with us on that as well. So we are excited about that. We had an amazing donation given to the district. Bryce Blanton and Lori Daniels worked very hard on our homecoming event for our alum. We love that our alum are starting to come back for that event. And at the ball game, you know, Kim Bryant is over there with us. Kim was talking a lot to this certain alum. And Rania English, after talking with Ms. Bryant, and Lori Daniels followed up with her, decided to donate $5,000 every year for 4 years. So that's a $20,000 donation. $2,500 of that for 4 years will be a memorial scholarship to Miss Carol Ellis. So we are very excited about that. Thank you, Miss Bryant, for all of your work on that. The other $2,500, Miss English works a lot with early learning in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And so she's asked for $2,500 a year for 4 years to go to our early learning center. So $5,000 total. So we are just very appreciative of that donation from Miss English to be used. And she's already sent, I believe, the first. So we're very, very appreciative. One of our alum giving back to our schools. And when she was talking with us, you know, she talked a lot. She's really friendly. And so after the game, I was talking to Lori Daniels about it, and she said she had been donating a lot to the schools around where she lives. And she said when she came back to the event, it just kind of reminded her, why am I not donating to where I graduated? So Lori and Bryce, as well as, you know, our board members reaching out, it makes a difference to our students. So we are very appreciative of that work. We did receive some grants this month. We received $62,344.13 in relation to homelessness assistance. Most of that grant money will go for transportation. And again, that does help our general fund because transportation is something that comes out of that. So anytime we can offset that, that does help. We received $66,316.29 for school improvement grant. We received $29,137.55 for expanding opportunities for each child. $7,648.10 for Educators Rising, We are trying to start classes at the high school that introduce our students to the profession of teaching, which we feel is very important. And we are hoping to encourage them to go to college, get that degree in education, and come back to Mount Healthy. So we are working on starting that program. University of Cincinnati donated $2,000 to the Mount Healthy Scope program. K&G Men's Company donated $190.10. They had a promotion where if you rented your tux, the things for prom, they would give a percentage back to us. So that's what that is for. There was a donation from Alicia Reed for $500 to North Elementary in honor of Angela Martin's birthday. So that just is some exciting things coming through to our school district. Item B, we are adding some new courses to the high school next year. We have been having sign language as one of our language options for our students. They enjoy that. And, you know, in order to go to a competitive school, you need several years of a foreign language. So we will be adding Sign Language 3 and Sign Language 4 at the high school. We are another pathway at the high school where students can earn an associate degree is through the business information technology. Matt White is the teacher of a program where students in partnership with the University of Cincinnati can actually complete their entire freshman year at the high school. And then they would start at UC in the internship part. Now, some people might think, oh, what's the big deal? If you are paying for college, that's a big deal. That means you get to work first and then take classes. So it gives our students the opportunity to actually earn money to pay as they go for the classes. So we are adding some classes, the System Administration, Database Management 1, CCP Fundamentals of IT. CCP is College Credit Plus. They will earn college credit for these classes. CCP Fundamentals of Web Development, and CCP College Algebra. All of those will be added next year to the high school that is aligned under that IT program to help our students earn those credits. Some general electives that we are adding, Adulting 101. We do survey our students and ask them what classes they would be interested in taking and where they feel that there's a need. That's where culinary really started from. Our students wanted that type of class. In 2020, when I came and met with students, that's what we heard higher than any other class. Well, I find it interesting. We were just recently up at Capitol Conference. This was already in the works, but they had a panel of students that talked about the type of classes that they wanted. And they said they wanted a class where they could learn about taxes and very practical types of things. But we had already planned on offering Adulting 101. It's an elective class. Students can take it, but it gives them some of those practical skills that they will need as they enter adulthood. And then Educator Rising will be the official class for students that are interested in teaching. So these are the classes that I would like to recommend to be voted to add to our curriculum guide for the 24-25 school year.
All right, can we get a motion?
So moved. Oh, sorry.
So just the discussion on it, earlier I heard $13 million shortfall, you're spending
Mr.
more.
Clark, we actually can get a second and then we can have discussion.
Okay.
We can do that. That's okay. All right, is there any discussion? That was Kim.
Ms. Bryant.
Ms. Bryant.
So in terms of what's being added, and that's in the 5-year forecast, and I just hear the tension going on, and I'm just wondering, is this playing into it? How are you considering?
Sure, great question. So College Credit Plus, when we have the classes, we're actually utilizing staff that we already have. So we have a lot of staff that are certified to teach a variety of classes, and it would be based on enrollment. So the cost for the teacher is not any different. It's just, what are they teaching? We do look very closely at our numbers, and if there's not enough, for instance, I'll give you an example. Last year, someone wanted to take Intro to Chinese. Well, while I think that's a fantastic class, we're not going to offer a class for one student. So that would be something fiscally that would not be responsible. But we can allow that student to take that class in our online program that is not an additional cost. Even though we would love for them to have an in-person teacher, we can still give them that opportunity just in a different way. So with this, we have a lot of different partnerships. For instance, we're working with Cincinnati State, trying to get them to have teachers come and teach on our campus. That's not a cost to the district. As far as their salary, that would be a cost to Cincinnati State. It would be the same as if they drove down to Cincinnati State and took that class, or UC or any other. So we are trying to work on some partnerships there for the CCP, but the classes right now, our existing teachers would be teaching them. It would just be changing the schedules a little bit. But that's a great question.
Any further discussion? All right, can we do a roll call?
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant, Mr. Kilgore,
Yes.
Dr. Turner,
Yes.
and Mr. Carter.
Yes.
And Director Ray.
Thank you. Item C is the consent agenda, and it just has a few employment changes that are listed here, or stipends.
All right, recommendation, or I'm sorry, can we get a motion to accept the consent agenda? Second?
Second. Oh, either one.
Any discussion? All right, can we do a roll call?
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant,
Yes.
Mr. Kilgore,
Yes.
Dr. Turner,
Yes.
Mr. Carter.
Yes.
And that's the end of my report.
All right, thank you, Dr. Hawkins. Do we have any special orders or anything to discuss?
Just welcome to Mr. Carter.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Sure.
All right, so the date of the next Board of Education meeting will be Monday, December 11th at 6 p.m. Do we have a list of, well, I guess we'll be getting a new one next year anyway. Okay.
Oh, for the board meetings?
Yeah, but this is the last one anyhow, so. All right, so we're gonna adjourn at 7:16. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Everybody jump on that second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.